All right, what's going on, everybody? Mr. Trummer here to talk you through how to do solving quadratic equations by graphing. So the first thing we've got here is we've got these quadratic equations, which if you remember, we learned about our polynomials where we have this x squared plus 4x minus 5 on the left side here. Well, this is going to be something that we can graph on Desmos. So there is a way to solve this by hand. However, there's a very quick way to solve this by Desmos, and it's very similar to what we did yesterday. Okay, so we're just going to take a look at this first one here where it says x squared plus 4x minus 5. And I'm going to walk you through how to set this up to solve it out. All right, so remember yesterday in Desmos, we had you put the left side into an equation or into a box on Desmos, and then the right side into a box on Desmos. We're going to do the same thing now. Okay, so I'm going to take this left side right here. And when I say the left, I just mean on this side of the equal sign. And I'm going to say, okay, y equals x squared plus 4x minus 5. And then in the second box, I'm going to put y equals 0. Okay, so I've already done this for time's sake, so let's jump on over here to Desmos and see what this looks like. So y equals, notice in the top box, y equals x squared plus 4x minus 5. And then I have y equals 0. Well, this graph looks like this right over here. Okay, now you'll notice that this graph is a little different than what we're used to because no longer do we see that we have just a straight line. Instead, we have what we call a parabola. So let me zoom out a little bit here and then bring that back in here. We have a parabola that loops through. And everybody knows at this point that you find your solutions where there's an intersection, which is right. Oh, whoa. Let's redo that little guy. That intersection, which is right here and right here. Now, there are two intersections. So how are we going to know what the solution is? Well, first off, let's see what those 2 points are. So I tap that box right there. It's at -5, 0. Tap that box right there. It's at 1, 0. If we go back over to our graph, we will see that there are two solutions that it's asking for. So again, we have these solutions saying x equals and x equals. So let's go back over here. Which one of these is my x? Which one is my y? Well, no matter what, however you look at this, my x will always be first, my y always second. So we've got ourselves a -5. So x is equal to -5 here. Oh, man. Nothing can ever go exactly how it's planned, right? So we've got x is equal to -5 over here. And we had, let me remind myself, what was it? X equals 1. And we had x equals 1 over here. Okay? Those are my two solutions. So now we're going to have two solutions almost every time. You'll see instances in which you don't. But we'll discuss those with your teacher when you're in class. So x equals -5. X equals 1. But you have this graph here, and it's like, well, what am I supposed to do with this, though, Mr. Trummer? You haven't told me yet. Well, you're just going to simply draw out the graph that you see here. So I'm going to find some key points. All right, we know that it crosses at -5, 0. We know that it crosses at 1, 0. And it looks like this point down here is at -2, -9. So we're going to do our best to just kind of make the best graph we can. So we have the points -5, 0, which is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So each of these is 2, 4, 5. So we got a point there. We said what did I say? -2, -9. So that's going to be like right there. And then 1, 0 is right there. And I'm just going to make my nice little loop-de-swoop. Now, I know you guys are better artists than me. So make it the best you can. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it does need to be a somewhat semblance of what it is that we've done. All right. So same thing now. I want you guys, as we do this second one, to be thinking through how it's going to be done. So just like we did over here, we are going to take the left side of this and we're going to write it into one box on Desmos. And then we're going to take the right side of this and we're going to put it into a second box on Desmos. And each time we're going to put in y equals for both of these, okay? So again, for time's sake, I already did it. Y equals x2 minus 3x, or x2. Oh, gosh, you guys got me saying it wrong. X squared minus 3x just like we've got in green over here, and then y equals 4. So once again, we have ourselves with a graph that looks like a parabola or that U shape. And when it's going to be a U shape like that, you're going to find that it crosses twice. Okay, so I've got my x coordinates of -1. So I had x equals -1 here. Let's redo this right here. Sorry. I've got x equals -1 here. And I had, let me remind myself again, I had x equals 4 over here. So 2 different places, which means we have 2 different solutions. So x is equal to -1, x is equal to 4. And then lastly, I'm going to find those points that help me graph this one. So I've got a point at -1, 4, a point at 4, 4. And then now my vertex down here is kind of at a weird number. So I'm just going to go with a couple of these instead and then find a better way. So -1, 4, 0, 0, 3, 0, and 4, 4. Those are the points I'm going to use right now just to kind of give myself my best graph over here. Okay. So, not trying to reload the site, just trying to pop back over here. Let's see. Let's make it red again. And one last time, -1, 4 was a point. So -1, 4, which was right here. And then 0, 0, and then 3, 0, and 4, 4. Okay, so that means that my other point was, if I remember, is down just past 2. So it's going to be like right here. Okay, so again, not a perfect graph, but perfect enough. And I didn't do it on the first one, but you'll remember that there was that line across. For this one, that line across was at 0. For this one, that line across was at 4. Okay, and there you have it. That is how you solve quadratics using Desmos. Guys, use the tools that we provide you. It is going to save you a lot of time. Guys, thanks for listening to this. Ask your teachers if you got any questions. You are ready to go for that assignment. Best of luck.